bright and early heading into work. As you can see, we're heading into the sunrise. The moon is off to the right. Can't see it, unfortunately. It is a very sliver crescent, the little fingernail crescent moon. We are 3 days from the eclipse this Monday. Hopefully I can get a good view of it, but I don't know what the weather's going to be. The weather has been total and completely unpredictable here in the last couple of days, so we'll see. It's a whopping 37 degrees on this 5th of April. We're a couple of weeks into spring, and it is, we had snow yesterday, so let's see how well we can do today. Hopefully we don't get any snow. I'm kind of finished with snow. I'm ready for some spring weather, even if it's going to choke me to death in my hay fever, like it does every year. That is a pretty sunrise, though. I have to say that is an impressive sunrise this morning. I won't see the sun yet. It'll be coming up over the mountain horizon before too long, probably the next 30 minutes. We won't most likely see that because we will be going a different direction. Once we turn onto the interstate, it'll be behind us for the most part, so we won't actually see the sun come up, unfortunately. But hey, at least we get to see the pre-show, as I guess you could say. Watch my speed here. It is a brisk morning. I was seeing some of the things that's happened in some of the court cases with Mr. Trump. Oh, yeah, there was a cop waiting. I think he might have fell asleep. Anyway, looks like the judge over his documents case, she came a hair of getting removed from the case if she continued on with the bogus Presidential Records Act defense of Trump, which it doesn't give Trump anywhere near the power that he seems to think it does. In fact, it actually says quite the opposite of what he claims. I've read it. No. It literally says presidents can't keep documents. And if you want, there is a process to claim a document as personal. It has to go through that process, and it's not something the president can just say, it's mine. It don't work that way. Ever. It has to go through a process to be determined. His recordings, and who was it? Somebody else did with some notes they kept for a diary. I think it was Bush. Yeah, I think it was Bush Jr. He kept a personal log, diary type thing. So they did determine those things were personal things and not state secrets, but they were reviewed. They went through a review process where they were looked at and said, yeah, this is personal. This doesn't have any state secrets. They can have it. I mean, that's the process. That's how it works. And that's what the Presidential Records Act says has to happen. So Trump getting out and trying to use that, something he obviously never bothered to read, is amazing. The Second Amendment and how everybody got it wrong. And he's right. I've already looked at that. It's in the section of the Constitution that lays out the powers of Congress, where it actually defines what a militia is. A militia is under the complete control, pretty much. They're under the province of Congress in the fact that they're funded, they're armed, and their rules and regulations are set by Congress. And also, excuse me, they can be held to account by Congress. In other words, Congress can call military people in before it and hold them to account for things they have done, if they choose to. And they do have to comply. A militia is just that. It's basically the military. Sorry, let me switch lanes. But we got they finally pulled over one of these big trucks that nearly kill people. Well, this is not the day to be speeding, because they got to get their quota, and they like getting it up front in the month so they can kind of slack off during the end of the month. Oh yeah, they'll bust you out through here, especially where the speed changes. But anyway, I was talking about the militias. You cannot be a militia in this country, not an official one, that isn't under the direct control of Congress, because that is what the Constitution says. And a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that part of the Second Amendment. They only want to acknowledge the second sentence, which is reference to the first sentence. The people who cannot be infringed are the people in the militia, not regular people, not just individuals. No, that's not what it's referring to. It's referring to the people in the militia. And if you're not in the militia, which is the law enforcement and military, then you don't fall into that category. I mean, think about it. You think they wanted to give guns to a whole bunch of yahoos that they couldn't control? You think the Founding Fathers were that incredibly stupid? I mean, really. They weren't, but apparently some people think they were. I'm going to turn on my Spark app here, and hopefully we will see something pop up on the way over before we get there. Let me see if I can get it to play. You gotta get let's see, play a little clip of something real fast.
Ukraine should not get any more.
And now I can just put it back over to
Spark driver.
There we go.
Retrieving location to match you.
And the voice thing should let me know when I got voice notification. Okay, we're up on the interstate. Let's get the cruise control set. Pay attention to my speed. Try to watch these crazy people. There's FedEx. If anybody's got a package, it might be in there if you're in this region. And it might not have to be in this region either, because they do deliver quickly in a lot of places. The sunset is over to the right. To the right, to the right. See if we can keep ahead of these big trucks. It looks cloudy, but it wasn't calling for any rain or anything today, but I'm not sure what the high is. The lows are supposed to be in the 30s today. So I had to dig my thicker jacket out this morning. I'm not going to run. I'm going out early because I'm not going to stay for the whole day today, because I'm taking the family to see Kong X Godzilla in an IMAX theater. Now that's a little further away to go see it at this IMAX theater. It's in North Carolina. It's about a little over an hour from where I live. Hour 15, I think. Hour 20. Anyway, we're we're going to go down and watch that. I think my daughter is going to be bringing one of her friends to watch it with us, and we're going to enjoy that. So I will probably be going off work at 3 o'clock today. So I'll probably do another live stream on the way home. I will be probably more excited than usual with these Godzilla MonsterVerse movies. They have been doing some fan appreciation is what I would like to call it, because they've been putting some Easter eggs in from the old Godzilla movies. I mean, they've put a bunch of them here and there, like the Super Godzilla where he's melting down when he took out King Ghidorah. That was good. That was the last version of Godzilla in the Millennial series. And he did melt down, but in the Millennial series he died and was replaced with his son. Godzilla Jr. is what they were calling him back then. In America we called him Godzuki, but in Japan they called him Godzilla Jr. First they called him Manila, or something like that. It was basically a mini Godzilla is what they were calling him. And he would eat fish. He was he liked to eat fish and certain types of vegetation. But later he became carnivorous and started eating whales. So yeah, after he got nuked, he got a little bit bigger, a little more vicious. And then at the end of it, he absorbed the radiation released by his dad, and he became a full-on Godzilla. He replaced his dad, I guess, is a better way to put it. And switch back over here, because some people are riding my bumper. They seem to be in a hurry to get their speeding tickets, so let's let them go ahead and get those, shall we? Look at that. Already drunk. It ain't even 7 o'clock in the morning yet. Wow. It's swerving all over the place. Why are you driving so fast if you can't control it? I get it. Well, that arrow says we're going up in the air. They might. Signal through this area is a little sketchy, which I don't understand why, because the cell towers are like, you can see them. They're right here. Excuse me. I mean, they're right over there. You can literally see them. And when we get past this little hill here, they're off to the right. So I don't understand why there's even a drop-in signal in this area. Those blinking red lights in the distance there. Way up on the mountain. I mean, that's them. They're right there. Let's see. See, there they are. There's 1, 2, 3 of them up there. And there's one further off to the right there, but there's one right there. I mean, we're like, I could hit it with a rock. Well, at least I could have back when I was a kid, but I don't know, I can throw that good now. But yeah, it's like literally right there. I should be getting like excellent signal right now. Trying to keep the camera focused, but it's it'll get a little blurry. And I think it's because the light, where the sun's coming up, the light ratio is changing. As you can tell, it's starting to get a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter. Let me play with the filters a little more to try to see if I can get a one that'll stay more focused than this one. Can't really do it while I'm driving. Let me see if I can. That'll help. Doesn't really have a whole lot in the way of filters on here. It has 3 on the mobile app. Here we go. Switch over to e-save mode to save what's left of the 50% of my batteries I've used up to this point. Save it for when I get over here. It also recharge the battery while I'm driving over a little bit. I'll regain some of it, probably about 5-10%, depending on how things go. I have noticed when you're in e-save mode, it will only let you recharge up to, I think, 83%, and then it just goes right back into hybrid mode, really. At least that's the way this vehicle works. I can't speak for other hybrids. But I know how this one works because I've been playing with it until I figured out what it does and how it does it. I am 14 miles out, 15 minutes. So I should be in the zone of area where I will get offers. So if there's any offers in the system, they should kick out before I get there. One nice thing about this area is they don't seem to have that limiter on. It seems like the offers go out early, and well, they go out to, well, as far as they'll let them go. Holy crap, buddy. Jesus, you're not supposed to do that at all. Especially in front of a big freaking truck. I mean, what the hell, man? These people, I tell you. But here, you are not allowed to go across that median unless you are an emergency vehicle. Law enforcement, fire trucks. I say they probably let them like that, but yeah, unless you're authorized, you're not supposed to be on there. And again, I don't know why the signal keeps dropping. I'm looking right at the towers. They need to do better with that. I mean, they really got to fix that. I don't understand why that has not been something that has been fixed with our with the stuff that's going on in our infrastructure. I mean, we got to do better, honestly. just lost signal for a second a minute ago. I'm literally driving past the tower. Why is our technology so far behind everybody else? Because unless there's a buck in it, our companies here won't even try to innovate. Innovation costs money, and they don't like investing money into that. If they didn't have to invest in anything, they would, ever. They'd let it ride on whatever's already here. And unfortunately for us, that causes all kinds of problems in the long run. What's wrong with this camera not staying in focus? That's very annoying. I'm going to check the camera settings on this thing. Because it should do better than that. Yeah, I got a big truck right on my backside here coming off the ramp. That's up my speed because the speed limit up here increased. But he's going past me like I'm sitting still. Pulling ahead of him. He's still passing me. Truck. Giga Logic. That's the name of that. There's a G Logic. There's a Dunkin' Donuts in the next exit. Their commercial used to be, gotta make the donuts, so they always come in early. That poor old boy opening the store, cracking it on, actually dark. He used to make fun commercials. Oh, he finally slowed down a little bit. Won't matter, I can't get around him. There he goes. And now I gotta switch lanes. Then he's finally passed me. He had to slow down because the car in front of him is going slower. Gotta watch him, he'll cut over on me. ready to do some road work. That's not a good thing. Well, if you have to do a delivery up through here, it's not a good thing. Get stuck in that. Had that before. That's not fun. Used to drive out through here for the school board. We had to take a special needs kid to a special school out here for him. That was fun. He was usually pretty good. Usually. Sometimes he'd get a little wild. Something trigger him, he'd get very upset. Most of the time he was really calm. Usually fell asleep on the way home. That was the norm. But you never know with those kids. That's why somebody had to ride with him in the back seat. Since he was a bigger boy, they usually had me back there. Sometimes I drove, but most of the time I was the one sitting in the back in case something happened. To calm him down or whatever needed to be done. Getting him to calm down was not always easy. I mean, he wasn't a bad kid or anything like that. It's just something would upset him, and he didn't know how to. Being special needs, he didn't really know how to process things properly. Didn't know how to handle it. Distracting him and getting him to calm back down wasn't always easy. Sometimes I had to restrain him, but you have to also know how to do that in a way that you don't hurt him. Fortunately, I did take classes and stuff. I do have a teaching degree. One of the things they did teach us was how to handle kids with special needs and how to properly do things where you won't hurt them, but they can't hurt you. But unfortunately, that is one of the problems that you run into when you're in that situation. I mean, it can happen. It's not fun. It's not an easy thing to deal with. But it's what it is. And we are almost here, coming off our exit. Gas prices are fluctuating massively in the last day or two. Seems like they're higher in the morning. I think they like to jack it up for the weekend because more people run on the weekend so they can make more money. But right now we're looking at 3:01 on the low 6 o'clock, but they never do put anything out for that hour at any of the Walmarts from what I can tell. And even if there was something, I think they'd just leave it in the system till later. They might let something go out. I don't know. But most likely not. Probably don't even have it turned on yet, or just turned it on. Usually they don't have it set to turn on till 7. And if there's anything in that queue, it'll go out. And there's a bunch of people already sitting down here waiting. And let me get adjusted. And there we go. We are here. Might as well get comfortable. It's going to be a few minutes. But anyway, thanks for watching. You guys, thanks for the ride along. And I'll see anybody who happens to be back around about 3 o'clock, probably, give or take.
言葉を知ってるか。さらに向こうへ。うるせえ。
Mm.